Hi, everyone. When most people think about microbes, they imagine germs invading the body. But the reality is much stranger. Your body is already covered in microbes. They live on your skin, in your mouth, throughout your digestive tract, and many of them are not harming you at all. In fact, without microbes, you cannot digest certain foods, develop normally, or maintain a healthy immune system. You are not just a human organism, you are an ecosystem. By the end of this module, you should be able to compare mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism as different types of microbial relationships. Explain why microbes usually live in communities rather than as isolated cells. A microbiome is a community of microorganisms living in a particular environment. We often talk about the human microbiome, but microbiomes are not just found in people. There are microbiomes in soil, oceans, lakes, plant roots, animal guts, buildings, and even on surfaces like rocks or medical devices. Different environments select for different microbes. The microbes that survive on dry skin are not necessarily the same ones that thrive in the human intestine or in wet soil. And these communities are dynamic. They can change with diet, antibiotics, disease, temperature, moisture, nutrients, and many other factors. So when we study microbes, we are often not just asking what microbe is there, we are asking who is it living with whom and what are they doing together. Symbiosis means organisms living in close association with one another. There are three major categories we are going to focus on. In mutualism, both organisms benefit, while in commensalism, one organism benefits and the other is mostly unaffected. In parasitism, one organism benefits at the expense of the other. These categories are useful, but in real life, relationships can shift. A microbe that is harmless in one location might cause disease in another. A relationship that is beneficial under one condition might become harmful under another. So think of these as patterns, not as rigid boxes. Mutualism is a relationship where both organisms benefit. A good example is the relationship between humans and some of our gut microbes. We provide them with a warm, nutrient rich place to live. In return, some gut microbes help break down food molecules that we could not digest very well on our own. Some bacteria can also produce vitamins, like E. coli, which produces a significant portion of our vitamin K, and that contributes to our nutrition. Another classic example is rhizobia in plants. Rhizobia live in root nodules of certain plants, especially legumes. The bacteria help convert atmospheric nitrogen into forms the plant can use. And the plant provides the bacteria with sugars and a protected environment. So mutualism is not just microbes are good, it is more specific than that. Both partners are gaining something from the interaction. Commensalism is when one organism benefits and the other is largely unaffected. Many microbes that live on our skin or mucosal surfaces fall into this general category. They use our body as a habitat. They may feed on oils, dead cells, or nutrients and secretions, but they are not necessarily helping us in an obvious way or harming us. This is important because not every microbe living on or in our body is a pathogen. Sometimes students hear bacteria on your skin and immediately think infection, but many of those microbes are normal residents. They are part of the normal microbiota. In some cases, they may even help indirectly by taking up space and making it harder for pathogens to establish themselves. But the basic idea here is that one organism benefits while the other is not strongly affected. Parasitism is a relationship where one organism benefits and the other is harmed. Many pathogens are parasites in this broad sense. They use the host for nutrients, shelter, or reproduction, and the host pays a cost. That cost might be tissue damage, inflammation, nutrient loss, toxin production, or disruption of normal body function. For example, a pathogen may attach to host tissue, invade cells, steal nutrients, or produce toxins that damage the host. Disease often results from this kind of harmful interaction, but again, context matters. Some microbes only become harmful when they enter the wrong body site, when the immune system is weakened, or when the normal microbiome is disrupted. Microbes often do not live as isolated single cells floating around by themselves. Many live in biofilms. A biofilm is a microbial community attached to a surface. The cells are often embedded in a sticky matrix that they produce. That matrix helps the cells attach, protects them, and allows them to live close together. You can think of biofilms almost like microbial cities. Cells can communicate, exchange resources, and cooperate in ways that improve survival. Biofilms matter in nature, in medicine, and in industry. They form on rocks, in streams, on plant roots, on teeth, as dental plaque, and on medical devices. They are also harder to remove or kill than free-floating cells because the biofilm structure protects the microbes inside. The big takeaway is that microbes rarely live alone. They live in communities, and they interact constantly with other microbes, with hosts, and with their physical environment. Some of these relationships are beneficial, some are neutral, some are harmful. Many are context dependent. Understanding microbes means understanding relationships. That is true in human health, where microbiomes influence digestion, immunity, and disease, and it is true in ecosystems, where microbes drive decomposition, nutrient cycling, plant growth, and many of the chemical transformations that keep Earth functioning. So, as we move forward, keep thinking about microbes not just as individual cells, but as members of communities. Microbiology is not only about what microbes are, it is also about who they live with and what happens when they interact. And with that, thank you so much for attending um, this lecture. See you next time.